And I welcome Nataliia and Oleksandr. They will show you an amazing real results from real project. So
thank you so much.
Please pay attention. Yeah, go ahead, Nataliia.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today we will talk about how AI works and on the project that we delivered last year, the development of AI solution for test automation project. So last year in May, we basically started the project for new customer. And today I will, with Oleksandr, talk about a little bit about us, about the project and story behind it, how we proposed AI solution, how we designed it, and we will also show real demo and share some results. So first of all, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Nataliia. At EPAM, I've been for more than 5 years. My title here is Software Testing Team Lead. And now I'm working on the same customer, new project as a delivery manager. Also, that involves AI. So hopefully next time we will talk about this project. So looking forward to it. I worked in different companies. On the previous project that involves AI and that what we will talk about today, I had roles Gen AI Service Manager, Delivery Manager, and Test Manager. When we started on the project, it was basically a project to automate a solution. Oh, sorry, Oleksandr. Can you introduce? I'm sorry. Please introduce yourself, and then we will move on.
Sure. You can refresh your presentation meanwhile. So, hello everybody, my name is Oleksandr, and I am a lead software test automation engineer. Been with EPAM for 8 years already, and last year, almost a year, I worked as AI engineer, starting on a project with Nataliia on Elite project, and now continue working with her in the next project called Steps. So, I also hope that we can share one more story in half a year with you. But today we will focus on the Elite project, the first one. So, Nataliia?
Thank you. So about the project, briefly. When we started as a team of test automation engineers, basically. That focus was to automate and build automation framework and a test suite to ensure system reliability that covers backend testing for RPC and API. That was a desktop application, and basically that's it. No AI in place here was at all. And when we started, we had 1 month of discovery phase. We realized during that time that for the input, we just had manual UI test cases that are written in X-ray. And as an output, we had to deliver automated RPC automation test suite. So first of all, this like behind story before AI era at Lightspeed involved how to approach this gap and how to understand and reproduce UI test cases for the backend without any documentation in place. That's why we invited the architect. An architect helped us and enabled QA team and this project. He built an RPC capture tool basically as a proxy server that was able to catch the communication between client and server so that our QA engineers can understand and analyze those that communication and reproduce for test automation test cases. The tool was just recording the actions that user would take on the desktop. So basically anyone from our QA team could just record one test case and then analyze. And it looked like this. Many folders, many files, and it was already filtered. And each interaction basically had its own folder, request responses, and it could vary from 10 to 200, depends on the test case. Amazingly, our QA team could even do that without AI. But for one test case, it could take up to 5 days to automate it. Well, anyways, we can handle everything. We introduced our test automation strategy, test framework, how we will approach it. We demoed to the customer the first automated test cases with this approach. And but that was not enough. And the customer asked, guess what? Where is AI? Where is AI in your strategy? We had to regroup. So what happened next? Basically, since during the proposal stage, the customer saw EliteA demo and they knew that we have such capabilities, they were imagining that it will be in place for our test automation. So we had to regroup, and the request from the customer was that they wanted their less technical QAs to be able to also work with such test cases and automate. We went to the EliteA team and worked on this proposal. Basically, what you see is the combination of GitHub, of Copilot and EliteA, agentic flow that would cover different use cases. One use case is framework development, implementation of step definitions, core components, analysis of the RPC calls, and another use case is work with Gherkin scenarios. And the solution would take, we proposed 2 months with 2 AI engineers. And basically, our customer approved this deal, and we could start with AI team to introduce this into the real scenarios. And we started our staffing. I found Oleksandr. I found the most talented prompt engineers. Funny enough that one of the prompt engineer was actually the interviewer from EliteA team. And we started working on the design and the solution. And now I'd like to pass the word to Oleksandr to continue on the actual design and demo.
Sure. So can you please move on to the next slide? Yep. So as Nataliia mentioned, we had the overall strategy what to cover, and this is how I organized the pipeline, how we come up with it. So here you see on the first slide the first part of it that we covered on the EliteA side. And you see several blocks, and the whole idea of all these blocks for all this workflow is to create a BD scenario. That's it. But why so difficult? Because we need to not only create it, but also use steps we have, and we need to understand the business need behind it. Because basically, this whole workflow does one thing: it translates a scenario written on the business level to scenario written on the API level. So at first, our workflow expects somebody to pass just an X-ray issue ID, basically Jira issue ID. Then another node decide whether to continue with it or not, because probably this test case could be automated already, for example, or not. For example, it doesn't have something necessary for us. So first validation checkpoint, then generating BDD scenario. Here our agent consults with the library of steps existing already, and also translate business logic to API logic. And here you also saw it was also an interaction point with the person. The person can adjust it if he works on the EliteA. Then getting implementation status steps, so we understand which step we need to implement, and then we have option to exit is to create Jira ticket and submit it. The another option would be is to call previous pipeline from the MCP using MCP from your IDE. So here you see the second piece. It's fully covered using Juni, and then we moved it to Glushko. How to process those RPC records, then generate code, and then create a branch, build project, run tests, and create a PR in repository. Also, you see there is a way to extract Jira ticket scenario if you previously saved it. So this was our principal schema. Let's move on. Glushko agentic flow. This is how it looks like, the second piece of it in the flow, in the workflow. You see we have several agents like still entry point with now orchestrator that tries to understand based on your input what to do, either to retrieve steps from a scenario, basically to call actually MCP agent from EliteA that handles that, or to call a pipeline and get the new BDD scenario for you. Then you see RPC records analyst. This one is a big guy that actually does understanding of flow of records. Then implementer, and you see there are several skills and also MCP tool attached to it. Code reviewer, of course, and git commit push PR agent that also has MCP. We're now gonna see it all in action, so that's why I'm going quite fast here. Nataliia, let's go next and see it. So now we have a small demo that we conducted. So right now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start the flow and ask for a new issue. We call it issue processor concise. It's a workflow, a pipeline basically in terms of EliteA that generate new BDD test scenario for us. Inside it also has all those nodes that you saw. And as you see, the start point very easy. You just need to basically go with the one. You only need to know the Jira ID. As you see, it's quite fast. And here we have a scenario. Then I'll show the scenario. And of course, you see some steps implemented, some not. So we will need to implement those steps. What to do next? Glushko suggests, because it knows about the flow, of course, the agents know about other agents in scenario. So now what I need to do is to do an analysis of all the records, RPC records stored in the repository. As you see now, I show like this folder with the same ID. Here I interrupted it because it took a lot of time in terms of demo, of course, about 10 minutes, but not a lot of time for a work. And on the right, you see the report of it. So as you see, it outputs the execution order of different calls. If there are any dependencies between them, it also tracks dependencies, IDs, etc. So, for example, if in call A we have ID, we need to understand where that ID came from. Probably it was received in the step A-1. So it also tracked it all down. Then we go to Gherkin's scenario implementer, the second B1, and this guy expects to have the report that you saw already and BDD scenario. So it implements BDD scenario using knowledge of calls, and also it has the additional MCP tool that can provide any information about the another repository objects of from what we use here, because we need to call, for example, here you see deal VO class on the screen. So this class not ours, so we need somehow to know how to instantiate it, which fields it has, etc. So we use this kind of assistant to help with those requests. Yeah, here you see it. So it's also an agent on EliteA.
And it connects to the repo, the customer's repo.
Yeah, these domain objects. That's correct. So what we have now, you see it. What it does, yeah, it already read everything and implemented as first methods. So you see, it found the right class and put method inside the right class. Exactly for sales, because it was about sales. And now it's going to try to run it soon. Okay, additionally to agents, I also implemented two skills that I shared between several agents. It was quite helpful in terms of context management. And now, yes, we have a method. Yes, and we want to proceed with run. So it's now going to run it, of course, because one of the skills was basically execution skill, because we have quite tricky execution process for it. We need several variables and etc. As you see, we have some issue. Of course, we know about it because it's right on the screen. Salesman is not correct enum. So it's gonna find it soon and fix. Yep. Yes, it uses right variables. That's correct. And yeah, I like this approach. You just see error and wait for it to see it as well and fix. Here you are. It found the right enum it need to use here because we didn't have before, and now you see it found and substituted with the right with variables. Here I show how execution works. I basically created additional way to execute tests for AI using Gradle function, and now it uses it. The important point here that despite we need many variables, we pass it as a text file, so we don't explicitly mention them nowhere in the MD files. Okay, seems we are good to go, I guess. Yeah, no errors I see. Good, so soon we will move to create an AI PR for it. To create a PR, I also used another agent, and they used agent here and agent on EliteA side. I mean, yeah, you see him. You see, it's correct. And the idea was to, of course, make this piece of work as easy as possible, and basically just with one command do all the work. So the agent in Cloud Code knows how to do APR, what important to mention in a commit, of course, etc., and also whom to mention as assignee and whom as reviewer. So after creation, you'll see it's gonna be basically full PR. Yeah, of course, and what files not to include. Yes, like variables, environment variables, I mean, etc. Yep, good. So git commit. Now I'm gonna see you this our small agent that has all the parameters and has actually managed access to GitLab. So now you see it's gonna call it create a PR MCP tool, and we're almost there. Yes, you see we have a PR. Yes, it always has created by agent label and has me as assignee, as REP person, as reviewers with description, etc. Everything. Basically, that's it. Yeah, here I show how I mention them. Yes, as you see, basically now we with us together saw a 9-minute demo of 2 days of work. I guess that's good. Good point. So Natalia, please continue with results and everything.
Yep. Let me switch to next slide. Of course, we measured productivity for our team when we've got an opportunity to start working with this AI solution. We measured the productivity before and after, and our test case productivity improved by 38%. Also measured some other metrics like average time in status, resources required, so you can see that those decreased. It helped a lot. Of course, we had different types of test cases. Some were small and where we were able to automate those pretty fast, but some still struggled. But in average, it enabled our team and also a team of our customer to work with this automation and cover their desktop application with tests. And the last slide is like generic one, how to achieve AI success from our experience. Basically, first of all, to design tailored solution, establish achievable milestones, achievable results, break down complex process into smaller manageable pieces, develop lightweight agents like Oleksandr showed, combine those agents into the pipelines so that you can troubleshoot easily. Iterate and refine. We've done a lot of iteration and refining with the team. We had our automation team heavily involved from the beginning of this AI solution design. Focus on POC, enable users, deliver measurable value, and that's it. Thank you so much. We have 4 minutes for any questions, answers.
Thank you. So there is a technical question in the beginning about RPC capture tool. Is it owned by EPAM? Does it work with gRPC?
It's not owned by EPAM. It was developed for Lightspeed by our architect. I can probably it can work with gRPC because it was capturing all the calls, API calls, everything. So if you are interested, reach out and I can recommend who you can talk to about it.
There is an interesting question from Anna. Like, how do you measure quality of testing? Was it possible to measure before and after?
We had a kind of different goal. The team Lightspeed was going through many improvements, updates of Java versions and so on. They didn't have any automation in place before. And this automation suite just enabled to run regressions fast and see if nothing breaks.
Thank you. Another question from Anna was like, was it the customer who suggested to skip manual tests? And do you see any risks with that approach?
We didn't have such requests to skip manual tests. We just had manual tests and as a library of test cases to automate. In parallel, the Lightspeed team was working with manual tests, runs, so nothing was skipped for sure.
Oh, all right, good. All right, I don't think any more questions. Anyone maybe want to raise their hand? And we have 2 hands raised. Yulia, let me unmute you.
There are some questions.
Yep, Yulia. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Thank you very much for waiting. It's a very big pleasure to see how guys smartly you work, which agents and AI we use to facilitate your daily activities. Unfortunately, I was missing the beginning of the presentation, but I imagine that if you are doing automation on the daily basis on the projects, that you also can connect some of the AI tool, like for example Claude, and then create agents and then create skills and probably try to ask generating tests and fine-tune the skills if possible. But I don't know how you guys started, but did you provide in the beginning, did you provide the format, the example of the test that you want AI to implement? Did you provide the example of architecture, like a hierarchy of your project, and do you want him to store the artifacts, the classes, everything?
Yeah, sure. That's correct. It was I didn't mention it literally, but actually, yes, we had a code MD file, of course, with the overall architecture of project. Also, agents were narrowed down to exact goal, and of course, agent that did coding knew about architecture, about code principles, examples of classes, example of test cases, which packages to use, and etc. So it basically was focused on the goal.
And maybe one more here. I'm not sure how are you creating branches when you are creating auto tests from developer changes. I don't know, but maybe whenever there is a branch, this tool, the agent also can see the changes in the developer's code, and if there is some API which will be implemented, or there are some new calls, maybe it's also possible to ask him to track all the changes to figure out what are these endpoints, new endpoints, or changed endpoints, so that as soon as we see the changes, he tracks the change. He can already go and update the existing endpoints which you maintain in your solution, so that you do not fix your old tests in this way.
this project had a bit different goal. That's why we didn't need that. But yes, it's possible.
Okay, yeah, it's just great. Thank you very much. It's so nice to see that someone employed.
Thank you so much. Anna, you're allowed to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for the presentation. I have two questions. So the first one, do you perform some kind of verification before test case creation if there are already existing test cases that cover specific requirements, and in this case there is no need to duplicate test cases, or some test cases need to be updated because some requirements were updated or deleted? Do you handle this life cycle?
Yes, we did it in the EliteA side. We check. Let me recall. We definitely check every single step. Yes, probably on a test case level. I don't remember.
On the test case level, we tracked it by labels, what was automated and what was not, and what was not applicable for automation. But our scope was basically like limited to 120 test cases provided by customer that was defined as high priority test cases. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. And the second question, do you have some kind of code review? So do you perform step where agent verifies if test cases are runnable, if they are smart? I don't know, does agent perform test cases before creating pull requests to make sure that they're runnable? Something like this.
Exactly, yes, it was probably a bit too fast on the demo. The agent did run the test case it created. And also there is one more agent that wasn't on the demo but was mentioned before, a code reviewer. Basically, the another agent that reviews code already implemented, they both share same logic of architecture, etc. So they follow the principle, but they have different goals. So yes, that's correct. But still, we still also require the manual review of code, of course, like despite all this. So.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, we have one more hand. Gaurav.
Yeah, thank you. I have a small question related to productivity. When we use AI, most of the times it is asked us to show how the productivity has increased. And we use AI and we are sometimes asked to show the metrics, how much productivity has increased. So how do you guys present that kind of thing to the client, or how do you guys measure that in terms of hours, or how?
I can answer that. So we, when we started on the project, we measured how many test cases we can implement for the sprint by one QA engineer. And once we started using AI solution, we kept measuring that. And so in DC, I have added special metrics that EliteA team helped to configure that you can track, and the metric is built so you can see the increase in productivity or decrease.
So the metric was your custom one and you took the help of EliteA to configure, right?
Yes, it was, the metric was EliteA configured metric in Delivery Central.
Okay.
But anyways, we tracked all in Jira by just by sprint, how many test cases are implemented by one employee.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did I have more?
Yeah, it's just exciting. I'm so excited about the productivity. So yeah, I think I thought I guess I remember it correctly, you measured in FTE, right? Full-time equivalent. And then there were the value in the before the implementing and after. And it's not just a big one, right? Difference is just not much percent. My question is that why it's not so big? Why what limited you to do more?
Well, so see, let me share back my screen with the metrics. We covered different types. One is for test case productivity, test cases per FTE. And pre-AI, we were able to implement like 2.5 test cases, and after 3.5. So improvement plus 38%. Could it be more? Maybe if we had similar test cases to implement, but we had as an input manual Gherkin scenarios that somehow we had to interpret into backend test cases, and sometimes they really would differ from like 5 steps to 15 steps, and flows were different. And we also one more reason is that we had like limited time for usage. So we had like 2 months left of this project. If the team would kept working and we've measured this for at least 6 months or so, we would see better results or greater results.
Yeah, it's because just interesting what you need to do in order, what type of activities you do with AI, how much time you spend on this maintenance and revalidation and reconfiguration. And
once we delivered this solution, it just kept working as is.
Yeah,
So.
I also want to highlight that these metrics were collected on our EPAM team, but the goal of this whole transition was not only to help our team be more productive, but also engage less technical QA from client team to do the same. So basically, with that goal, we have, I guess, now we have more results because client uses the solution as well.
Yes.
And probably now I see this 38% quite good result. Honestly.
No, it's great.
It's not like not like 200%.
Yeah, just as you showed that, I imagine if agent is doing everything, so you just can sit and relax, and instead of creating 2 scripts manually, he creates 10 for you, 10s. But it's not the case. Yes, something is not so smooth there. So.
Yes, specifically because of this RPC analysis flow that the agent needs to analyze, and sometimes it makes mistakes or can skip something, and then you have to go back manually and see what is missing.
Sure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Nataliia and Alex, for joining. That was really amazing results. So I hope to see you in 6 months when you do your other thing. So
thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.